Hello, in our devotion today for Friday, the 24th, we continue with Genesis chapter 8. God remembered Noah, as well as all the animals and all the livestock that were with him in the ark. So God caused a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. The fountains of the deep and the floodgates of the sky were also closed, and the rain from the sky was restrained. The waters kept receding from the earth. After the end of 150 days, the waters had decreased. In the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. The waters receded continuously until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains were visible. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the ark. He sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the waters were dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the waters had receded from the surface of the ground. But the dove found no place to rest its foot. And it returned to him in the ark, because there was water on the surface of the whole earth. Noah reached out his hand, took the dove, and brought it back to him in the ark. He waited another 7 days. Then he sent the dove out of the ark again. The dove came back to him at evening, and there in its mouth was an olive leaf it had just plucked. So Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. He waited another 7 days and sent the dove out again. This time it did not return to him any more. And so in the 601st year, on the 1st month, on the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from the earth. Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked out. He saw that the surface of the ground was dry. In the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. God spoke to Noah. He said, "Go out of the ark, you, your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of every sort that is with you, all flesh, including birds, livestock, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, so that they may swarm over the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth." Noah went out with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives along with him. Every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever swarms on the earth went out of the ship, species by species. Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took from every clean animal and every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. The Lord smelled the pleasant aroma. The Lord said in his heart, "I will never again curse the soil any more because of man, for the thoughts he forms in his heart are evil from his youth. Neither will I ever again strike every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease." This is the word of the Lord. The first words of this chapter are immensely comforting. God remembered Noah. Psalm 13, the deep wailing of a troubled soul, cries out, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever?" It's a terrifying thought to be abandoned by God. And in our darkest times, when fear roars around us and there's no way out that we can see, we too must ask this question: how long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? But Noah's experience was like Jonah's. From the belly of the ark, no doubt he prayed to God regularly, and in the end he could have sung Jonah's song. "In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the belly of the grave I cried out, and you heard my voice." God removed the waters of judgment from the world to make it habitable again. Noah tested the progress of the drying of the earth with birds, first a raven and then a dove. The second time that the dove went out, she returned with a leaf, an olive branch. And this was proof, when that clean animal returned with life in her beak, that God was at peace with these men. And when she vanished the third time, let this remind you of Christ's ascension 40 days after he won peace with God. It's proof that that peace remains. And so Noah and the animals disembarked into the new world. And the patriarch's first act was sacrifice. He recognized who the true God was and why that God had done what he had done, and how he had been spared by his abundant mercy. Again, Noah could have sung the song of the prophet Jonah. Jonah, whose name means dove. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Amen.